The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles.
Charles, you're looking slightly tired, slightly stressed. I suspect you need a holiday. I know you're going to England Scotland in a few weeks to do your show. Nevertheless,
yes,
you probably need a break.
I need a break.
You need a holiday.
Yes.
And fortunately, an amazing new holiday destination is about to come online.
Oh, fantastic.
I know you're a well-travelled man. You've been all over the place.
Yes.
But there's somewhere I'm sure you've never been, even though you've been to North Korea.
Oh, okay.
You might need to draw on some of those experiences.
I assume you're going to be talking about New Caledonia, are you?
No, why?
Well, the riots there, Australians have been evacuated.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yes, because the French are basically taking over, even though they'd already owned it.
How bizarre.
They've given themselves the vote.
Well, I didn't in any way know that was a thing.
Yeah, right.
That completely passed me by.
Oh, okay.
I'm much more excited about another destination.
Okay.
But
like
again...
an equally war-torn destination?
No, it's not war-torn, Charles.
Oh, good,
It was
okay.
war-torn for many, many years.
Oh, okay.
But it's now a place of peace, a place of relaxation.
Oh, dear.
It's Afghanistan, Charles.
Of course it is.
The Taliban want to open up Afghanistan as a holiday destination.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
making this up. This is
Right.
a real thing that's happening.
Can you bring your wife?
I'll explain all in a moment. To answer your first question, yes, you can. Your wife is very, very welcome, Charles.
Oh, yes.
As long as, just
As
a
long
few
as
conditions.
she carries all the bags, is it?
It doesn't carry the bags. It's more like she has a male chaperone with her at all times when she leaves.
Oh, right.
the
Yeah,
hotel.
that's irritating. Yeah, we went to Iran for a couple of weeks, and I'll tell you what, it's fucking irritating the fact that men won't talk to women in public in Iran.
Oh,
or
really?
at least
Yeah.
back then.
I'm sure it hasn't got any more liberals.
They
since
just
then.
literally don't, like, you're dealing with just hotel concierges,
and they'll
whatever.
just talk to the man.
They'll just talk to the man, and it caused incredible trouble in our relationship because my wife likes to do.
She
things.
likes having agency.
Yeah, and I would end up going, well, I'm going to do it my way because I'm the one who has to do it, and you realise, and then she became this sort of nagging woman. And you go, fuck, it actually works. Like the actual external patriarchal sort of relationship actually then crunches into you.
Well, I have to do all this then.
Yeah, your internal thing, and it breeds resentments. Fantastic.
Well, Charles, the good news is if you want to check whether those dynamics have improved in your relationship and whether you're able to withstand that sort of situation, head to Afghanistan. Fantastic news, Charles. Last year, guess how many foreign tourists visited Afghanistan?
One?
7,000.
7,000?
Yeah, I know.
I bet you 7,000 of them were YouTubers. they were all...
They were from Iran. Going, I wonder if you figured out this whole only talking to the men thing yet.
Yeah.
And in 2021, only 691.
Who would go, I wanted a relaxing holiday. I think Afghanistan might be the go.
What proportion of the 7,000 was spies?
There were spies.
Yes,
Yeah.
least-
It would be spies and YouTubers.
YouTubers.
And the YouTubers would be like, set themselves a challenge. I went to Afghanistan to get a haircut.
Are you talking about Alex? Or our friend?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all happening, but the good news, Charles, is that they've opened. It's going to go up from 7,000 for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
They've opened the very first tourism and hotel management school that's never existed before in Afghanistan.
All right.
The Afghanistan or the Kabul Tourist Academy.
Yep.
There are some entry criteria to get trained.
Not be a woman.
Not be a woman.
Yeah,
that's right. That's literally true.
That is literally
hospitality professionals, all men as women, are banned from all education, are leading the charge. So yeah, the guerrillas are running the show now.
So what are just like, isn't it the case that if you're a Westerner and you go to Kabul, you're in mortal danger the whole time? Like, it's not actually...
I don't think so, because isn't it all over? Didn't the Taliban win?
Right.
Like,
but don't the
who's gonna kill you?
Taliban hate Western infidels?
Not anymore. Not when there's tourism bucks to make.
Okay.
Because this is the whole thing. It's so awkward being a guerrilla militia, right? You kill people,
Yes.
whatever. You oppress women. But then you've got to try and run a country, and you need hard currency to do that. And Afghanistan apparently has a few undestroyed natural beauties still left that you can check out.
Right. Okay. And sorry, who's running the tourism board of Afghanistan?
Well,
it's not
not Scott
not
Morrison.
Scott Morrison, is it? I mean,
If he wants a gig,
he does have a bit of time on his
he
hands.
specialises in the tough sell.
Yeah,
That's a tough sell.
Where the bloody hell are you?
Now, you'll actually like this, Charles. The Taliban's official spokesman, I've gone and...
Actually, his views on women and the Taliban's wouldn't be that far apart, would he?
Well, I don't think... Yeah, I think in his church, women don't get to preach.
Yeah.
So they'd be able to talk about that.
Yeah.
And in fact, if in certainly the Abbott
Yes.
ministry, the only woman was Julie Bishop.
Yes.
And they managed to sideline her. So, yeah, maybe Scott
Sort of
Morrison would feel at home.
Actually, fit in.
Could.
Yeah.
Well, look, he's doing a book tour. I
Yes.
saw that he talked to Antoinette Lattouf the other day on the Briefing podcast. So he's willing to deal with hostile interrogators. He'll probably get a better welcome in Afghanistan.
And actually, because John Delmenico wrote a very, very funny review of Scott Morrison's book for The Chaser. Check it out at chaser.com.au. But one of the interesting things is he counted up all the times various things were mentioned.
Oh, yes, Jen.
Jen was mentioned like 93 times. God got over 100. It was like 106.
Actually. I mean, in
Yeah.
Scott Morrison's life, I'm sure Jen knows she comes second.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But the whole point is, so the Taliban love God as well.
They do.
So, I mean, I think maybe different. Oh, no, they're basically the
It's
same God, aren't
yeah,
they?
it's the same God. So he'd probably fit right in.
Yeah, I think
There you
so.
go.
Yeah.
Plans for your good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this is a plan for the Taliban's good.
Yep.
Now, I wanted to
Okay,
answer
yeah,
your question
sorry, yep.
because
Okay.
this is an article from the Daily Mail, so you
Yep.
know it's true. And they quote the Taliban's official spokesman,
Hmm.
Zabihullah Mujahid, who says, "We will welcome the citizens of any country who visit Afghanistan." So just because we fought a war against them, that's over with now. They just want the money. And it's very important
Right.
to say here, okay, and this
Okay.
is the Taliban speaking,
Yeah.
everyone is treated equally, he says. Obviously, except for women. Like, let's not even bother clarifying that one.
Yeah, everyone.
And special attention is paid to the protection of tourists, and foreign nationals are given special attention by the authorities. In
Wait a
any
minute.
area
So
that they
everyone's
visit.
treated equally except for tourists who are
Given special attention.
Yeah.
Like special attention from authorities in a country like Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean given an especially shit cell when they arbitrarily arrest you?
So does it mean they're recreating a two-tier class system?
Yep, that's right.
That they wanted to abolish, where Westerners get all the benefits, which
Yeah.
is exactly the complaint that they had about the last.
That's right.
System.
So they wanted to flush out all Western influences from the
Yeah,
government
yeah.
and the courts and everything. Just completely flush them all out. Get rid of all the Western sympathising people within Afghanistan, and then invite Westerners in as tourists. It's a strange idea, isn't it? But I mean, we've seen this when we went to Cuba. It's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
Charles and I were in Cuba together,
Oh,
and
yes.
everyone was very anti-West, anti-capitalism.
Yes.
What's that? We went to Anti-Imperialism Plaza, which is set up opposite the US embassy. That's not really an embassy.
Yeah.
The US interest section, I think it's called. And there was
Well,
there's
it's
this-
the Swiss. The Swiss.
yeah, the Swiss kind
ran
of
it,
notionally ran it.
Yeah.
And there's a big sign saying, pig dog imperialists, we're
Yes.
not afraid of you.
That's
There's
right.
a giant sign out the front saying that.
Yes, but admittedly, we wrote that.
Yeah, that's right. But at the
Yeah.
same time, Charles,
Yeah.
wherever we went, we had to pay in US dollars because they wanted the hard currency. So, the pig dog imperialist money was useful.
And it was humiliating because we were staying in an Airbnb or the equivalent of an Airbnb back then.
Casa Particular or whatever it's called.
And there was a barrister who lived above us
Oh, yes.
who helped translate because the people whose house we were staying in
Yeah, they
couldn't
spoke Spanish.
only
yeah.
speak Spanish. And he was very literate and he was very eloquent and things like that. And yet you'd bump into him every afternoon and he'd be roaming the streets trying to find bread. Remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the thing is, like, we'd be going out with our dollars and going, oh, isn't the bread fresh here? And meanwhile, local Cubans had to spend hours queuing up.
In the shops for Cubans.
Yeah.
Not the special tourist shops where you pay in US dollars.
Yes.
I think they use euros now, but it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
And then at the end, I'll never forget, at the end, he takes us aside after we'd gained his trust. This was after 2 weeks because it was actually a bit of a sort of...
Oh, it was a
You know,
total surveillance state. There
surveillance
were signs
state, yeah.
everywhere saying, the Committee for the Defence of the revolution is watching you.
Yeah, exactly. And he took us aside and he realised that we weren't spies for the Cuban regime.
Even though Charles was constantly talking about how great communism was.
And he went, you know what I really think of Castro? I think he is a fucking. That's what I think. I think he is a fucking. Remember that?
I do remember that. And
Yes.
I remember his poor syntax.
His poor syntax completely undermined his otherwise passionate.
Yeah. So that was, so you can have that sort of experience there.
The Chaser Report. News a few days after it happens.
There are some rules. I'm just looking at this
Yeah,
here.
so what are the rules?
It's hard to know how this will work in practice, but there is a blanket rule in Afghanistan issued by the Ministry for the Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice. Good title.
Good title. That should be our business name. Let's rename the Chaser that.
Ministry for the Promotion of Virtue. So
We should have one in Australia. Albo should have one. It should be one of the
Virtue
ministries.
Signalling Ministry. Yeah. So they've put some rules in. Women can't travel more than 45 miles if not accompanied by a close family member.
Right.
And you're not allowed to get on any form of transport without hijab. So even a female TV journalist are expected to wear hijab, like full face covering while presenting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, you could just move around anonymously. And people would treat Western visitors. I mean, men you could put on the hijab or whatever and see just how awful life is.
Is it hijab or is it a chador?
Well, it says it looked like full
like
full
hijab
covering.
is when you can see the whole face.
Yeah, no,
but-
I'm confused by the image of the Daily Mail. I'm not sure the Daily Mail understands the finer points of this.
Right.
So anyway, the activities that you can do.
Oh yeah.
Lots of things you can do.
So I presume what would it be? What can you do?
There's a
Afghanistan?
traditional wrestling, which looks like fun.
Yeah.
There are some very, very scary theme parks that look like they're falling apart.
It can't be worse than Dreamworld.
There's this extraordinary picture, actually, if you look at the website, of gun-toting Taliban soldiers, like Mujahideen, basically, in a duck boat, like on an ornamental lake.
A gun-mounted duck
With
boat.
a duck or a swan boat.
Right,
It's extraordinary.
okay.
And there's quite a nice looking water park that was built by probably by the Americans, this giant water slide, and
Yes.
only men visible in the picture,
Well, indeed.
of course. So if you're a misogynist, you'd probably love it.
Yep.
You'd not have to deal with women at all.
But also, look, let's not judge cultures, Dom. Like, who
Oh,
are
you
we
think
to
it's
judge?
relativism?
Yes, exactly. I think you got to take cultures for what they are. You know.
I think you should tell your wife this point of view and see how that goes down. So look, I mean, there are worse places to visit, Charles.
Where?
Gaza?
New Caledonia?
No, look, I mean, I would be interested to visit Afghanistan if things weren't like this, right? If I don't want to go and help the Taliban in any way.
Yeah.
But it's a fascinating place to visit.
But how do you get there? Like, what airline?
I think the best way to get there is to just wait till the next war and go there for free. But no, I don't know which airline. It doesn't actually say
Like,
here.
what you could do is you could catch a Singapore Airlines flight to London.
Oh,
You'd
Charles.
probably plummet.
It doesn't say.
over
It doesn't say.
Afghanistan.
I mean, I'll just quickly, I've got my laptop here. Does Qantas fly to
No,
Kabul?
of course they don't.
Okay,
No.
which airline?
It'll
It's
be some dodgy airline, won't it?
very racist of you, Charles.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who you look. Would Emirates?
Or maybe China. China, one of the Chinese airlines, maybe.
There's a few here. There's apparently Come Air,
Come Air.
KAM. Fly Dubai does it.
Oh, okay, rightio. That's the Jetstar.
Pegasus,
Dubai.
Wizz Air, and Wizz Air Malta.
Wizz Air.
Yeah, so there you go. That's a
Okay.
great option.
And so you fly in.
In fact, there's a lot of flights. There's plenty of flights from the
Okay.
Gulf that go in there. Yeah,
Right.
Turkish Airlines
and so what, like.
or Emirates fly there.
Okay.
They do, and Ariana Afghan Airlines, AAA rating, Charles.
So why don't we go there? Why don't we do
the podcast.
Do they have political freedom there? Like would we be
I
able
think
to
we'd have to
do a
be
live
careful
stream?
about what we said. It'd be great to do a gig in Kabul.
And we could do all the sites of the monuments that they blew up.
There's a lot of
the
a lot
Buddhas
of
and everything.
heritage things that blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to go to the central west of New South Wales and Orange and Bathurst and such places.
I think Afghanistan's safe.
It's probably easier to get
Yeah.
to. Yeah,
That's right.
Because at least
More
we wouldn't
flights.
at least we wouldn't have to go by like train.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I suspect Air Ariana would be probably more reliable
Did they
than City Rail.
still do poppies, or did the Taliban get rid of all the poppy fields?
I don't think they're so into the hashish side of things, but you can probably
Right,
find a
okay.
guy who knew a guy.
Poppy farming in...
Don't worry about Googling it now. Just ask Bruce Lemon to hook you up.
No, he's Coke. That's not... April 2022, they banned all cultivation of opium poppy.
Do they not want to make money, these people?
Well, you know that banning the cultivation of illegal
Oh, it
drugs
just
always
makes it-
works,
Just
doesn't
makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh, no. Opium cultivation has declined 95%. This was late last year.
Taliban really are living up to their reputation
Yeah,
for
they
killjoys,
are.
aren't they?
They are. Oh, well, that's all right. We'll go there and hang out with all our
I mean, it sounds
male friends.
It sounds roughly as fun as visiting Saudi Arabia, and they've just been given the World Cup. So, by that token,
So we've got to come up with an advertising slogan to help them get people there. I'm thinking something like,
I think Taliban have the same issue in their marketing meeting. They've trained 30 people so far, by the way, at this hotel school. So it's all happening.
yeah, it's all. And is there like a Hyatt or something like that? What's the name of the top hotel in Kabul?
There's a 5-star hotel.
Yeah, you're right. Kabul Serena Hotel.
The Kabul Serena. Yep, it's got
the
two
Kabul-
restaurants, a pastry shop, and a poolside bar that does not serve alcohol. That's the other thing, by the way, Charles. No booze.
Oh, fuck that. Why did we even start this conversation? Fuck it.
Okay,
Nah.
we're not going.
Nah.
Sorry, Taliban. Charles was willing to live with the oppression of women, but you can't have no booze.
Yeah, I mean, no.
This podcast is over. What a stupid idea. How curious from Road. We're part of the Iconoclast Network. And when the Chaser Report visits Kabul, we choose to stay in the Serena Hotel because I think it might be the only hotel.
See ya.